Thank you everyone for joining this webinar on IoT for applied industrial technologies. This is strictly for internal use regarding and targeting the salespeople both on the automation and industrial sides of the company. The agenda we'll go through today and the things I'll talk about are what is IoT, so an explanation on exactly what the word is and our company's position in the market for it, why we should care about it, how to sell different types of technologies that go into it, in-depth descriptions on the solutions we currently have, some customer problems we've solved so far, and demos of dashboards that highlight the different capabilities we have with the software. Starting off with what is IoT? IoT is a very big word similar to AI that has a bunch of different interpretations of it. So my role so far within the past 2 years has been trying to define what this word means for applied. So this is how I kind of describe it, how I like to think about it, is breaking it out into 3 different sections, which also highlights the 3 different sections of products that we're able to provide in-house from our large supplier network. So that goes down to smart sensors, actually getting that data on the plant floor, the data aggregator and collector, and then the cloud server and cloud platforms that are able to store and process that data. If we break out these 3 sections further into the product subsets, we can see here in the diagram that there are 5 main categories that we're able to sell components for, giving us a huge advantage in the market for providing services and products for full-scale IoT application. The first category being the sensor deployment and connection. We have sensor brands on both sides of the company, both automation and industrial, and have engineers in-house and integrator partners that can do the installs and connections. This category is the root of all IoT applications, and with the different types of products we have, it's a great position for us to be, and that we're able to offer the hardware associated with these types of deployments. Then we get into the core of IoT, where the word IIoT gets its meaning from both the OT and IT sides of a factory. In every factory, there's legacy equipment that has been in place for decades. And instead of removing all of that old equipment, which would be extremely hard to do and time consuming and expensive, and replacing it with brand new PLCs and industrial PCs that communicate protocols better than this old equipment does, the better strategy is to use IT software and products that are able to communicate what's currently in place at a bunch of our customers' facilities. So right between the IT and OT sides is the edge. And we are fortunate enough to have been able to identify and work with suppliers that already have this technology built for us. And we've done a lot of work to make sure that these products are as agnostic as possible so that we can communicate with as much equipment and hardware in a customer's manufacturing environment as possible, making the possibilities endless with what we're able to gather data from. Once we're able to bridge that gap between IT and OT, and data is currently stored in an IT environment, whether that be a database or ERP or SAP system, or directly tied to a dashboard, that data can be used to make decisions around predictive maintenance, overall equipment efficiencies, business predictions, and etc. These are, again, the 5 silos of product types that go into any IoT application, putting us in an incredible position to offer full-scale solution to customers. Many companies are only able to offer 1 silo, and we can offer all 5 and add our custom engineering or integrator support network on top of it. Hopefully this gives a little bit more of motivation to learn about the large SKU of products that we have in our company to be able to support customers and their digital transformation needs. And here's some more reasons why we should be selling it and asking more customers about what they currently have in place. We have a national presence with great relationships with our customers, and I promise you, every single customer has a need for digital transformation. Once you solve a large digital initiative or project for a customer, it's kind of proven and known that they'll continue to come back to you as that trusted partner for all of their factory needs. It's such a big lift and effort and industry trend right now. Recurring revenue, both monthly and yearly, is a one-time sell. So once the customer sees the benefits of that technology, the recurring revenue will just continue to build with them wanting more machine and equipment connections, and then scaling the software and hardware requirements from there. Most customers don't really know where to start with this and need a consultative approach or a hand to hold throughout the whole journey. And I'm hoping as we continue to go down this path, and even from just this webinar, we can start to do this for them and guide them towards just whatever digital transformation looks like in their facility. The market potential in the next 5 years is going to be scaling up to 900 billion. So why not it be us taking at least some of that revenue? And it is, on that note, it is a trend that North America is one of the largest countries that's investing in IoT technology and has some of the best players within our borders as well. Us, with our deep customer relationships nationwide, can also understand customers' pain points and needs better than anyone else that were to go direct to them. So the distributor model for this really puts us at an advantage. We have an opportunity to work with many great new suppliers that want to support us in every step of the way, which will diversify our revenue stream and just leading to more opportunities in the future. So how do we identify an IoT application? There are three main applications and kind of categories that I think we're able to offer solutions for when it comes to IoT. Again, IoT is very big, but these next three are what I've identified as the main areas we have technology and support for. So preventative maintenance is the first one. So using vibration and temperature sensors, involving monitoring machinery to detect issues by analyzing those patterns, allows for early intervention before any failure occurs. So this approach can help extend equipment life, reduce downtime, and cut maintenance costs. The words highlighted in this that customers may use when this is the type of hardware and software solution they need to solve their maintenance needs are these five kind of main keywords. So if they bring up anything related to downtime, if they're having any unexpected equipment failures, that is a big sign that they could use some type of sensor like this. If they have high maintenance costs, whether that be the human labor part of it, the actual routine in place to do some of the maintenance tasks, this can also help. Short equipment lifespan. So if they have a part or certain types of parts that are failing a lot, this can kind of help see into the health and more just details on the lifespan of it, and just be able to make better decisions for their equipment moving forward. If the customer is having some type of safety issue with their equipment, so if that when that equipment fails or before it fails, it's becoming a hazard to any people, this is also a good sign. And then limited visibility into equipment health. If they currently have no visibility and ask about what products we have that can allow them to see that, preventative maintenance is the main category that we would hopefully move into for solving this application. So connected factory solutions are the next one. And what these kind of do, and the solutions we have in place, is they track and analyze machine performance, uptime, energy consumption to optimize production efficiency and reduce operational costs overall. So it's able to provide real-time insights into equipment effectiveness and energy use, enabling better decision-making for improvements. So the keywords here are visibility. So if customers bring up that they are lacking visibility into their production processes, and want to just be able to see things and visualize things in a better way, this is the application for them. Data silos and poor communication. So there's a lot of data silos, especially in bigger facilities. A lot of equipment kind of has its own platform, could be its own software, own hardware, own connections, where it's not able to communicate with anything else. So if there's a lot of disconnected systems, this is where we would use our software and packages in place to kind of bring all that data into one spot. Remote management, if a customer is wanting to be able to kind of troubleshoot things remotely, just be able to access and monitor things remotely as well. And they have currently just too many manual things where this could be automated to be remote. This is the application for them. Safety risks, again, so equipment failures, posing any safety risks. It's always a big category for this one as well. And then energy and power monitoring. So that's starting to be a bigger trend, especially in the bigger strategic account customers with Applied that we've seen. So they may have restrictions put on them by the government or any corporate initiatives to limit power and be able to generate reports through that. So this is where we can also offer them a solution. And the third one is RFID. So RFID asset tracking software uses radio frequency identification to monitor and manage the location, status, and movement of assets in real time, which in turn improves inventory accuracy and reduces any loss of items. It automates asset management by tagging items with RFID labels that can be scanned and tracked throughout their life cycle. And the main words here that we hear when customers are needing a solution like this are asset misplacements. So losing items, losing expensive items like expensive motors, bearings, gearboxes, which is time consuming and also can lead to big financial losses. Inefficient inventory management. So there's very, very manual processes all over from what I've seen in terms of managing an inventory stock room. So if they mention anything about how things are too manual right now, how they're having inefficiencies and making errors around that, this is a great application for it. The lack of asset visibility too. So as opposed to, or in addition to losing assets, but being able to not see as much details about their assets that they may want. And then that translates into kind of more of the work orders. So again, a lot of people have very manual work order processes. So not being able to track those very well or track those across the entire process, which can lead to maintenance and increased downtime. And then manual data entry errors. We're all human. Manual processes can lead to a lot of human error to affect and end up making big financial and possibly time-saving errors. So all of these words kind of go along with RFID asset management. So we have solutions for all three of these categories, and that's where I've spent a lot of my time learning about how we can best use these solutions for our customers. So the first one is the connectivity solution. So we've identified an open hardware, open software model for it. So the hardware, kind of going back to the first two slides, this is on the connectivity. So the hardware is the sensors that are going to be input or in place right on the factory floor. And then moving that, connecting whatever hardware that is, grabbing that data with a data collection piece of hardware as well, and then integrating that into a dashboard, display, database, whatever the customer prefers. So the sensor options that we currently have, these are the use cases that go along with them. So having just real-time data, so industrial sensors can help with their data they're able to collect, can help make informed decisions and offer a lot of control through processes. Monitoring is a very big one too. So just being able to monitor that data, like temperature changes, pressure, flow, and levels, and then optimizing that with efficiency and quality. Safety and security is also another good use case. So the sensors can contribute to these by detecting people or objects and monitoring different levels and environments. Predictive maintenance, industrial sensors gather data that can be used to predict equipment failures and allow for more proactive decisions to be made before something fails or something happens on the floor. And then quality control, the sensors can be used for detecting defects, controlling product quality, and then assuring the right product is in place. So the sensors, the wide range we have, there's a humongous booklet and pamphlet that goes through with all of our different suppliers, how many options we have. So we're very fortunate with that, but range from photoelectric sensors to temperature to fiber optic, inclination, and flow sensors. And then we also have options for measurements. So that can be radar, pressure, encoders, vibration, and ultrasonic. Flow control, so being able to put some type of sensor into a pipe, into valves and current like automated processes within flow, and then also for pumps and rotating equipment. And then condition monitoring is kind of on that same tangent of preventative maintenance. So we have a very big network of different condition monitoring sensors with a software attached to it. All of these 4 different categories, it's just kind of for everyone's information to know that we have the capabilities to provide this hardware. And when it comes to the sales process for IoT, this is where it's a consultative approach. So don't need to memorize all of this right now, but just being aware that we have all of this in-house already. So when a customer comes to you with one of possibly those 3 needs, predictive maintenance, connected factory, or RFID, just know that we will have the sensor in place. And that's when you can kind of come to me. We can work through what that sensor, actually picking out that sensor, and work with our partners as well to make sure that we have the right one in place to get the right data. So the open software that we're using, so kind of once that data is collected with the hardware, the open software we have that's going to be loaded onto that data collector, we're using our supplier called Telit, and they have a software called DeviceWise. So this is the most agnostic IoT platform I've seen so far. There really isn't a limit on what you can connect to and process data from. So these are just all of the benefits. You can connect any of this data into any database, any enterprise system, any kind of dashboard, and any cloud environment as well. And then you can do calculations, visualization, tracking and tracing. Just the whole entire scale you're able to manage data on. It's whatever the customer wants to do, we'll be able to solve it with DeviceWise for sure. And combining this with our Opto22 partner, we're able to offer just an entire full connectivity solution. So these are the different products from Opto22 that we have been using and are looking to use more. So they have smaller IO units that can be a little bit more remote. They have one that is strictly for energy monitoring usage, and then one that is a complete control system. So it's a very custom approach to being able to put any of these units into a customer's environment and for it to be able to monitor and gather and collect that data in a comprehensive way. And then on the hardware, so combining that software with Telit, with all of the software features this hardware already has, again, just puts us in an incredible place to have a full solution suite of solutions for how to program this data, how to store it, and then how to visualize it as well. And these, I'm going to go through two different user cases from both Opto and Telit, kind of just highlighting their massive impact and how they've been able to solve a lot of customers' problems. So this was ACS out of Georgia. They had an Opto application, or still do. They're an OEM now, but Alta refrigeration. So their entire facility is being monitored from one Epic unit that's put in their control panel. So the general purpose is processing power and storage, and then they're able to provide really awesome functionality with being cyber secure, database management, and using high programming languages. It was a custom solution, and they can access all of their data remotely throughout all their different facilities that have this in place. So they're able to use the touch screen on the Epic controller itself as a maintenance interface inside the control cabinet. That's a very comprehensive touch screen that's easy to use and maintenance people can understand. And then LandTech is on the Telit DeviceWise, so kind of showing some of how they were able to use Telit DeviceWise to be able to create their own IoT platform. So what LandTech does is they build full line equipment for case and tray handling. And the problem is without the proper stretch wrapping, loads can shift or fail during shipment and can end up being very costly and wasteful to the company's brands. So they wanted to develop a technology that kind of changes how companies leverage stretch wrappers and case equipment. So they chose DeviceWise as their platform to use on the back end, and then were able to kind of create this custom interface that they could use internally and even sell to their customers from that. So this is just like a quote from them, through their partnership, they were able to now monitor the correct targets and monitor the events based with the notifications they get for when certain events happen. And this is allowing for their wrapping systems to become part of the team by notifying when important events occur. So using this software, they're able to kind of do that safe ship loads every year at the lowest possible financial and environmental costs. So this kind of just shows how powerful the software that we have at our fingertips is, and how we could use it for customers that maybe want to use it to create their own software, or maybe they want us to do that for them. There's just there's no end to the possibilities that you can use with it. So combining the two, Opto 22 products and Telit DeviceWise, these are the main benefits besides all of the benefits I've just talked about. So the advanced connectivity and integration. So this, with being on, in my role being in between applied automation and applied industrial, I was kind of tasked with finding the best products that were able to connect industrial products and machines, and also the automation products and machines too. And this package does exactly that. So it really doesn't matter the type of equipment, the type of sensor, the type of machine a customer is wanting to get data from. We're able to do it with using these two things together. And edge computing and real-time processing. This is kind of like a little bit of a buzzword, but it is just a very efficient way to process data. And we're able to do that with this package, able to process that data right exactly on the local factory floor. So you're not having to communicate and push big groups of data up to some cloud environment and process it there. That one adds complexity and time and cost. So computing all of that right on the factory floor where that edge device is located will just save on all of that. Scalability and flexibility. This is a system where if a customer wanted to implement like one unit, the possibilities of scaling and adding more equipment onto that is so easy to do. It doesn't take much configuration at all for those units to talk to each other, or be able to just work together to provide a standard solution throughout an entire facility. Enhanced security, that's a really big part of IoT applications, is making sure things are secure, data is protected, and that the customer's network and IT teams are satisfied as well. And this is just one of the really big benefits that we can offer. So we're able to aggregate data from multiple sources in a very secure and robust way. And the simplified development and deployment is one of the biggest benefits, in my opinion. So a lot of customers, like I said earlier, they need a lot of hand-holding to go through an entire application, and how easy it is to get these products up and running, whether that comes from actually doing the install or doing some of the programming. Anyone can learn how to do it. It's a very low code environment on the software side, and then the deployment on the hardware side is very fast and very easy as well. So it's very comprehensive, very easy to train customers on if they want to learn it, but we can also learn it internally. And this is the package overview for the connectivity portion of it. So kind of just shows, here's all the machines and data on the factory floor. Here's where a customer's PLCs currently are. It doesn't matter how old they are, how outdated. If we put Opto and Telit together right on the factory floor, we download the software right onto the hardware. We're able to gather that data from any type of protocol, from any type of equipment. And then we're able to process that and then move it into an HMI for someone to be able, an operator to be able to see everything right there, process it in a local database, push it up to a customer's enterprise system. Again, the possibilities are kind of endless. It just is up to the customer on how they want to deal with it and exactly what they're trying to solve. So now we're going to move into the RFID portion of it. So the packages we're working with here, it's, in my opinion, it's really similar. It's a really similar trend to the connectivity portion, where the possibilities are endless with what we can solve. And that has seemed to be a really good theme for us to continue to go with when choosing partners for this. But for RFID, we like to at least start off when a customer, we know for a fact a customer wants RFID, to choose one of these 3 silos for how they want to get started. So work order, this would be, you would choose this for a customer when they want to track a part through a maintenance request or replacement. Inventory management is if a customer is having a lot of issues with doing manual cycle counting or isn't able to see visibility into their stock levels. Again, it's mainly a manual process where we can really help with this. And then asset tracking is a real-time tracking around an entire facility. So if a customer is losing those really big parts, we can offer this asset tracking, just putting up different RFID scanners and hardware as choke points to be able to kind of see where that equipment is. So once you choose one of these and we diagnose one of these applications to get a customer started with, we can add on the other 2, or we can make a combination of all 3. It's a very customizable software. These are just kind of the best as in terms of getting started with it. And this is what a complete solution looks like. So again, there's a very similar theme here with what IoT looks like for Applied. It's combining open hardware and open software that can integrate nicely together to provide access and opportunity to gather data from pretty much anything that we want it to. So here, the hardware we're using would be RFID scanners. And one of our biggest partners, Zebra, we have on the automation side, we have a massive selection of different hardware that we can choose for that. But it usually gets diagnosed down to either a fixed scanner or a handheld scanner. And it's just combining one of those with the software. The software can be loaded onto a screen like this on the RFID scanner. It can be on a dashboard. It can be on an iPad, a phone, a dashboard, on a monitor. It doesn't really matter. And then also combining the RFID tags. So from the automation side, we're also able to sell RFID Zebra tags. And there's a huge booklet for just the different types of tags we're able to offer through that. And those tags can be pretty much fit to any part the customer has. And then we also offer RFID printers for a customer to have kind of like a fully standalone solution where they're doing everything RFID in-house for their processes. And the way that we like to get started with an initiative like this is, especially if most customers do have a ton of parts in their inventory or a ton of parts they want to manage. Starting small is the best way to get started. So that would be starting with like a handheld scanner and some sample tags, and then kind of tagging those parts, making sure the software is working well, it's doing what the customer would want it to do. And just it's an easy way to just get a demo kind of paid for, and for them to just see the benefits right away, for them to hopefully want to move into buying some more fixed scanner equipment and scale the application. So after that, yeah, we would add different types of fixed scanners, whether that be if it's inventory management, adding a fixed scanner over a door, or if it's assets or work order tracking, adding those fixed scanners throughout the facility. It just kind of depends on their application. And then we're also able to offer an ERP, MES, SAP integration with our partners, Imelgo, that we're working with on the software side. They have a great team of software engineers where they offer for a fee their services to do that integration for them. It's not that expensive at all, but that's a pretty big differentiator from other products I've seen so far, with how agnostic the integration can be for what we can connect to with our software and hardware. And then the third phase would be doing standalone. So like I mentioned, the tags and the printer, having a printer that's fully just producing all the customers' tags. So they're able to just kind of in their own process be able to tag those items, scan them, and then use the software and hardware to monitor where they're going. So these are the three processes in terms of like a sales perspective on how we sell the solution. And now I have demos on the two solutions that we talked about. So I will share my screen. So first, since we're fresh on the topic, this is what the Imelgo software looks like, and this is getting started on the inventory management. So this is just like some dummy data I've put in there, but you can see that we're able to break out and be custom with the different like plants. Like let's say this is a customer environment. If they had different plants, we could break it out into each plant to see what the inventory looks like in each one. So I just broke this out into the customer having bearings, meters, motors, pumps, valves. And then if you click on that product type, you're able to see the SKU. And this could be all of this data down here we can customize. So this could be like a certain SAP number attached to it. But this is the RFID tag number attached to it as well. So we can add in customers' details as for what they want to see from their parts. And then, yeah, it'll tell you the current stock total as well. And then we're also able to add in like a minimum and maximum number for each product. So if the customer wanted to be alerted when a paint can was out of stock, maybe it was like under 2 units, we can set some alerts down here, whether that be sending them an email, sending them a stock alert, doesn't really matter. But being able to configure kind of what they want to see for when products reach a certain level or get below a certain level as well. And then the work order tracking. This, you can see we're able to kind of put different choke points in a customer's facility for, in this example, there would be one in the order release, one in the paints, one in the assembly. And then you're able to see how many work orders are in each spot at a time. and when that was last updated. You can add what the status is, when the due date is, the tag number, the work order number as well. And then you can group all of that by location to see it here. And then down here in your facility, it's very easy to go through and add different areas, different zones, different departments, and just customize everything here. That's the key word with a lot of these solutions, is just customize. I think a lot of customers, they all have similar processes, but at the end of the day, they have different processes, and being able to customize what the customer wants to see on their factory floor and in a dashboard is a pretty big value proposition, I think, that we have for the current partners that we have with IoT. And this is moving into the connectivity. So this is like an example of an energy monitoring application. So we can go into looking at different types of consumption per product, absolute consumption, different energy KPIs, using graphs to do that as well, just overall performance, and then adding in graphics here to kind of show what different power and pressure is looking like. And then again, using a different type of graph here. And then this is showing overall consumption, overall distribution in a different location. And this is more of like production KPIs and statistics. And then this could be, this is like an example of like a maintenance, more of like a maintenance page. If there was an alarm to be activated, to be able to add a note, add a message on what the current error is on that dashboard. And then I was also talking about, this is Telit DeviceWise, the software portion that we're using on the connectivity piece. But on the other side of the connectivity piece, using Opto22, they have their own kind of displays. So we can still use Telit, but we're also able to offer just a massive amount of display connectivity and options for what a customer would want to see. So this is an example of a wind farm and how just current turbines are operating at a bunch of different facilities. So it's just extremely comprehensive, very easy to use. You can see the energy production here. So kind of showing all three of these interfaces just shows the very big differentiation that we have with what we can currently offer, and how easy all of these dashboards are to configure and make custom to what the customer exactly wants to see. So that is all I have for this webinar. I hope everyone was able to learn a lot about IoT. I just want to say that I am here as a resource to kind of help with, at least get started with some of these, diagnosing these IoT applications. And it's a very big space from all the research that I've done. I've gone to different conferences, talked to a lot of experts in the space, and I'm extremely passionate about this field now, and I'm really hoping that we can just get this message across all of Applied, to just start to even just ask your customers about what digital transformation means to them, what they're looking for it, because I promise you, each customer has a need. And I truly believe with the power we have as one Applied, that we can offer some awesome solutions and create a very big revenue stream for using software. Using software is it's a new area for us, for both the automation and industrial sides. We've been strictly hardware distributors for a while, but with the relationships we have both on the supplier side and the customer side, I think we're able to offer just an awesome offering, and we're going to continue to learn the different types of products we can use. But this is what we currently have, and what I personally feel is kind of where the market and what our customers are looking for right now. So thank you for tuning in.